Hello and welcome back to another video. This is the high-grade GFred from 2025, and I probably should have done this video in 2025. It is now 2026, so happy New Year's to all of you that are watching this and supporting the channel by leaving a like and subscribe, because I usually forget to say that at the end of the video. So yeah, this is the high-grade GFred. Not to be confused with the GQuuuuuuX, because I have called this thing the GQuuuuuuX, like, a lot. Like, just off camera, though, but yeah, so, appearance-wise, I would prefer the color scheme of this over the GQuuuuuuX. It has a more darker tone to it, which is something that I do like. And one thing about these kits is that, especially, like, mostly these two, other kits like the Red Gundam, I think, that one's like basically one color. My point is, the GQuuuuuuX and the GFred are probably the most colorful Gundams that you'll ever see in a while. And I'm saying that because the GFred here has so much color, but they managed to blend it in quite well, which I think is really cool how they did that. Now, I won't be going through the articulation because it's the exact same as the GQuuuuuuX. However, I will talk about some things that I thought were interesting about it. So, when I first saw this on screen, and as a model kit too, I thought these two were pretty much the exact same body with slight adjustments, which they are, but to an extent. Like, so when building the GQuuuuuuX here, you can see that the bottom parts right here are like these red bits. Those are separate from the actual white parts. And something that struck me on the GFred is that I thought it was going to use the exact same, like, reprint or something like that, but I just knocked over something. Whoops. But the little lines here, these little struts, those are all connected to this one orange side right here, which I thought was quite interesting because this isn't a complete this is not a complete sorry, what? This is like molded differently compared to the GQuuuuuuX. And I guess I should have expected that, because now that I see it, it's multicolored. The coloring on them are different. But this part right here, I think it really stood out to me because it was different from the GQuuuuuuX. And there are parts like these shoulder bits that are different. The head is different. Even this thruster extension bit is different from the GQuuuuuuX. There it is compared to the GQuuuuuuX right there. So it is longer, but from a glance, I thought that this was actually a complete copy of the GQuuuuuuX, but I didn't see that in the legs there, so I thought that was a pretty cool detail. Same issues as the GQuuuuuuX, not many issues. But this part right here, that is supposed to be a red sticker, I painted that in a red acrylic. I also decided to use red acrylic right here, but I did keep the sticker right there as well. So there is a sticker for that, but I decided to just paint that up. I did mess up that sticker on the chest there, so unfortunate. But other than that, well, okay, there was also a green sticker that I was supposed to put up here, but I also messed that up, so yeah. But most of these stickers here are basically the exact same from the GQuuuuuuX. And speaking of the stickers, here are here is the GQuuuuuuX sticker sheet. You can tell the eyes right here are separate on each side. You do get 4 because there's 2 for but one head and 2 for the opened variant of the head right here. I've noticed that I am going a little off of what I normally do and how I normally do reviews, but this is more of a comparison rather than a full-on review. But most of these stickers are the exact same. There's the red ones for the heels that I decided to paint instead. And here is the, what do you call this? Like a pinstriping stuff? Most of these are the same. These red ones are supposed to be around the top of the head. Like around here, I think. Right there on the top of the head, just angled. I didn't do that because I just thought it wouldn't, like, I think having to put 2 stickers together, like right next to each other, I feel like kind of ruins it. And could also cause a lot of peeling down the line, I think. Unless it's been done right, I don't know. But, there are also these right here. I was planning to put these on the thrusters, but, I ended up not doing that. So there is that for the sticker sheets. Now, the loadout for the GQuuuuuuX is the exact same for the GFred. You do have a beam rifle, now in different colors, mostly orange and blue. And also the hand is the classic sandwich style holding hand. Just pretty simple. And there is another one of that I did not put on yet. I just kept on these hands for now. You do get the beam handles on the rear right here, and as well as the beam saber effects, also in a different color now. And the shield, which I also did paint the bars in acrylic black. But yeah, so basically a different color right there. But there is that, and here is a closer look at the alternate head. So in the show, the head kind of just opens up, revealing a bunch of like holes, or this might like trigger. I don't know if this has triggered people before, but like the holes that are in the face. There you go. I can get the light on it, but you can see it there, and like a bunch of these wires connect to those holes, like just going into the face, which is interesting. I'm not sure why they chose to do that design with the head, and yeah, but this is the open variant. Another thing about this GFred is that the I don't know if we can do it on this one, because these white tips are actually molded differently for both of these. Yeah, okay, here is little, I'm not sure what these are. I do know that these fly around and like shoot the GQuuuuuuX or whatnot, but these little ear bits do come off, and you can't exactly pose them unless you have like a clamp or some kind of putty to just stick it onto a stand or something. And another thing that I thought was interesting is that I didn't notice that this GFred actually has a sort of V-fin or antenna in the back, but they do have the safety pins down there. And I thought that was interesting because I actually did not notice this in the actual show. But they do have the little antennas there. I'm not sure. Would you classify that as a V-fin or an antenna? Because that does not really look like a V-fin, but it does look like a V-fin, just inside of the head, if you know what I mean. But yeah, so here's a better comparison with the GQuuuuuuX. You can tell a lot about the color has changed. The shoulder bits, the parts down on the legs, which I still think is pretty interesting, because I really did think that the entire body mostly was just. I thought between the two, I thought it was just a head and shoulder redo, but they actually did mold different parts for this, which I didn't pay attention to, because their mold designs were like very much alike. But also the the thruster unit on the back as well. The GQuuuuuuX does have a shorter one. The GFred has a longer one, longer end right here. You can convert this into the core unit or core flyer, but the cockpit is also the exact same. I forgot to show this off earlier, but it is the exact same, heavily color inaccurate, and the exact same mold as the GQuuuuuuX. So there is that. I don't think the GFred comes with the axe. I am not sure. I don't remember. I have to look inside the box, but the box is right there. It may or may not come with the axe. I'm not. Yeah. Keep that in mind, I guess. So moving on with the comparisons, I have a few. Okay, one I want to get out of the way, because this is not that relevant, but there is the Reborns Gundam, because I just chose to do the Reborns Gundam. So there is that. The GFred is about shoulder height, including the ears. Another one is this. Well, the RX-78-2, yes, but a different version, the Origin version. I built this morning, and I did post something about it in the head. There was another issue that I came across in one of the feet. This might be the next review, but I'm not, currently I'm not too happy about it. But yeah, I'll talk more about this in the next video, I think. I think this will be the next video. So there is the Origin, and something that I got for Christmas, which is not a Gundam. Well, it is a Gundam. What am I talking about? This is not a Gunpla. This is a Gundam action figure. The Bandai's Gundam Universe line. These, hold on. These giant boxes. Yeah, those lines. I'm not sure if people actually like these lines, but here it is with the Barbatos Lupus. But there is that. I will do a video on these Gundam Universe action figures at some point. I don't know when, but sometime, probably in the next coming weeks. Because I have noticed something about the Barbatos Lupus that is a lot more different than a lot of the other action figures. Either that, or it's just because it's a Gundam that has a lot of exposed frame in the show. So there is that. And that's all I'm going to do for the comparisons. So that is the GFred. I almost called it the GQuuuuuuX. But you can put those side by side. But yeah, so the GFred from 2025. Do I recommend it? Yes. I love the design overall. I think it definitely grew on me over time, but color wise, I definitely would prefer the GFred, especially with those ears. I think they're pretty unique. I'm not going through any of the action poses. It's the exact same as the GQuuuuuuX. But yeah, I do recommend this, especially if you want a darker aesthetic of the GQuuuuuuX. But overall, these two are pretty much the same. So you can get one or the other or both. I don't really know. That's up to you. But my personal would be the GFred. Anyways, I do recommend this. That's all I have to say. And that's kind of it for this review. Or not really a review, more of a comparison. But yeah, so stay tuned for the next review, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy New Year's.